Well, driving in that morning traffic is more than just stop and go. That really wreaks havoc on your clutch.
But there are some things you can do to prolong the life of that clutch. Our Monday morning mechanic David Rogers joins us from Keller Brothers Auto Repair. He's joining us live to explain. Hey, David.
Hey, good morning, Natalie. How are you doing, Tom?
Good.
Good. Hey, you two are right. The clutches get torn up bad out there, especially if you like to four-wheel drive, or as in the case of one of my customers, go out in the mud. The first thing I want to show you is what a clutch looks like. Most people have never seen one. They actually sit right up in between the transmission and the engine. And basically you have these little pressure plates here. I can't even make them move. And then you have some friction material on the inside, and this is actually the magic stuff, okay? It's what allows you to shift those gears. What a clutch does, and what many people don't understand, is that a clutch manually engages the transmission. It allows you to give power from the engine to the wheels, okay? And so this is your transmission, and the clutch sits on the end there, in between the transmission and the motor. Now, when a clutch isn't working right, that's when you hear people talk about it's slipping, or it's not, staying in gear, or maybe you can't put it in gear, or you try to get into reverse and the gear's not there, or maybe you're just losing power to the wheels. Well, what happens is that clutch material, that friction material that I told you was so important, it wears off. You can see how thin and skinny the material is on these edges in comparison to this good one here and the bad ones here, and you can see it's all marred up and messed up. And what that causes is that it's no longer able to click it in and out of gear when you shift. Now, another symptom that we can see on this clutch, you can see how it's kind of black and burned on the material here. Basically what that is, and I'll compare them for you here, what those black marks are what we call hot spots. That's where the metal's gotten super, super hot when the clutch was beginning to fail. Oftentimes that will happen. Now there's a couple other things that can happen too. Mechanically, we can see this clutch's bearing came apart, and you can see the little pieces of it that just kind of came apart inside there. And this was on another one that failed as well. The clutch material wasn't quite as far worn on this one, but we certainly have the hot spots again. You can see that, burning marks from the clutch material going up against there. Now, enough of the boring stuff. Let me tell you what you can do. Okay, first of all, the thing you need to realize is clutches operate with a fluid. It's called hydraulic fluid. So whenever we see any fluid leak from a car, it becomes critical to make sure that you find out what that fluid is and repair that leak. If you ever go to a mechanic or one of your buddies or somebody in the family says, hey, don't worry, just keep adding fluid to it, that's wrong. That's bad advice. Don't listen to them. Fix the leak. Get it repaired. Many times what's leaking are one of the cylinders that allows the clutch to work. Hydraulic fluid's typically clear. You can't really tell what it is. If you saw it dripping, it would look like water. But if you felt it, it would be slippery like oil. So that's one thing that you really want to do. Now, the things you can do at home to make sure you don't wear your clutch out, number one, do not sit at a stoplight with your foot resting on the clutch pedal. You may feel that you're not depressing it and it's just the weight of your foot on a pedal. That is one of the worst sins when it comes to a clutch, because you're partially engaging it. You're causing those hydraulics to partially engage, and that causes the clutch to burn up and wear out while you're just sitting there. Also, for you young people that like to race and go fast in mom and dad's car, don't do it, okay? When you go into high gear and you slam it into gear like that, it burns that clutch up, and this friction material will wear out and look like a bird's nest in there, and we can tell that's how you burned it up. So be careful with the clutch. Treat it gently, and anytime something feels differently or you see a leak, get it in and have it inspected, and you'll be glad you did.
All right. Good advice as always, David. Thanks very much.
Thanks.